Hey, Chris with 22 Designs here today to show you how to mount the Lynx telemark binding. If you're not able to have a dealer do it, which is what we recommend, the next best option is our Roxbow jig, and if you don't have that, you can also do it with a clear plastic mounting template, which is available on our website, or you can print out a paper template. And if you do that, you want to measure it to make sure that the mounting dots are 1.5 inches apart exactly. What you're going to need is your Tele Boot, a drill, and a drill bit. For most touring skis, you'll want a 3.5 millimeter drill bit. If you don't have one of these step bits, you can use a regular drill bit. For a regular US size, that would be a 9/64. If you happen to be mounting into a metal top sheet, that would be 4.1 millimeters or 5/32 of an inch. A razor blade helps. Waterproof wood glue. We also have syringes to help with that. A number 12 AB ski tap if you are mounting with that metal top sheet. A marker, a center punch or a nail, and a hammer. Measuring tape, your template, and another number 3 posi drive screwdriver, and of course your Lynx bindings. First thing you want to do is figure out our mount point on the ski. Most manufacturers have a boot center line marked on the ski. We recommend in most cases mounting your boots on that boot center line. Some people like to go back a few centimeters, but it's best to go in most cases right on that boot center mark. Then you'll want to measure your boots, the sole length, tip to tail in centimeters. Scarpa boots also have the sole length marked on the heel in millimeters. Now go ahead and grab your template, put some tape on there, line up the number or the mark that you got from your boot sole length, put it right over that boot center mark, and then lined up a matched set of parallel lines on the edges of the ski. Take your time doing that because you want those bindings to be straight. Then you can grab a hammer and your nail or center punch and go ahead and start punching the holes. Once you have the front 6 mounting holes punched, hold up. We're going to move the template before we mark the heel plate holes. So now we're going to take our boot sole length, divide it in 2. In this case, I have a 300 millimeter boot sole length, so I'm going to measure back 150 millimeters or 15 centimeters from the boot center line and put a mark on the top sheet. And that is where I'm going to move the back of boot heel line on the template to. Once you have that marked, you can peel up your template and stick it back on your ski with the back of boot heel line on your mark. Again, making sure you have a matched set of parallel lines perfectly straight. Then you can go ahead and punch the 2 heel holes. Then you'll want to go ahead and pull your template off. With light touring skis, kid skis, you do want to measure in the area that you're mounting your heel plate and make sure it's at least 11 millimeters thick. If it's less than that, you may need to grind the screws for mounting your heel plate, and it may change where you mark your drill bit. We like to use a stepped drill bit. These are usually about 1 centimeter long. And so you can measure back 1 centimeter on your regular drill bit and mark it with a little flap of duct tape. Let's drill. Go ahead and tap out your sawdust, and If you do have a metal top sheet, you'll want to tap them at this point. Go ahead and drill your other ski, and then we're ready to glue them up. At this point, if your holes volcanoed up at all, you can clean them off with the razor blade. And then it's time to glue. We like to use a syringe. If you don't have one of those, you can always use a little toothpick or matchstick to make sure you get the glue down into the holes. Now that we've got the holes glued up, let's get our bindings out. Inside, you'll see the pack, which has your screws, flex plates, and some other parts in there. Your Lynx bases. You'll want to make sure that the boot stops, black boot stops, are still installed. Heel climbers. Main plates. And the binding rears, as well as your mounting poster with detailed instructions. Go ahead and grab one of the binding rears. You'll put it right side up with the claw on top. Insert the cable loop into the U shape in the back of the base plate, like so. So we'll go ahead and set the base down on the 6 front mounting holes. And we can open a binding pack. Inside we have our pivot straps, mounting screws, slick pins, power spacers, flex plates, and a sticker. Go ahead and open up your mounting screws and put 6 in the front mounting holes. Once your screws are in, we're ready to tighten them with your number 3 posi drive. If you happen to have a bit and a drill, make sure your clutch is not set too tight. Then we'll want to give them a couple last tightens with the hand driver. Make sure they're nice and snug. And go ahead one last time, snug up each screw. We've got the optional power spacers that are either gray or black, and this is when you would want to put them on. What the power spacers do is provide a little preload to the spring to give you a little more stiffness at the beginning of your turn. To install these, you'll want to grab the rear of the binding and twist it over to one side. Then slide the spring forward as far as you can with the top hat back. Grab the power spacer with the little tooth pointing backwards. Snap it over the top hat and then rotate it so that the tooth goes into the slot in the top hat. You'll want to install a power spacer on each spring to make sure that the forces are even. Then take one of your main plates. You'll want to slide it into the top of the slide block here from the front with the 2 little ears at the front of the main plate. Pull back on the claw just a little bit and it'll seat down into the base. Go ahead and do the same thing with your flex plate. Then grab one of your pivot straps. This is where you'll want to choose one of the 3 pivot positions. Number 1 in the front is the most neutral. Number 3 at the back is the most active, which means it holds the ball of your foot down more. I'm going to go ahead and put this one in position 2 in the middle. Go ahead and slide the slick pin all the way through and make sure the tooth pops out. Now we'll grab one of our heel climbers and a couple of screws, mount it onto the ski. Tighten it up. Mount the other one and you're all set. Now that you're all mounted up, a couple things to keep in mind for maintenance are just making sure once or twice a year that your mounting screws are nice and tight. And when you're out there skiing in the spring, walking in the mud, go ahead and clean off your boots, clean the snow off, maybe hose the bindings down when you're done for the day. We also offer accessories for the Lynx. You can get leashes, stiff or soft main plates, backcountry repair kits, ski crampons, and much more on our website. Thanks for watching and enjoy your Lynx.